Let's continue here now. Nigeria is eager to boost its trade relations with South Africa. That's a word from Nigerian Permanent Secretary for Industry, Trade and Investment, Evelyn Nginge. She's currently in South Africa to promote the West African nation as a viable investment destination. The Nigerian High Commission in South Africa hosted a meeting with business community. SABC News reporter Khayelihle Khumalo has more for us.
A very important day here in Johannesburg. Nigeria really just stating categorically that it's ready to do business, but also encouraging just a flow of investment from South Africa and Nigeria. As you know, that these are very powerful economies in the continent. Joining us now is the Permanent Secretary from the Trade Ministry in Nigeria. Ma'am, thank you so much indeed for your time. So welcome to South Africa. I would imagine that you're still getting into things with the elections, inauguration, a lot of things happening in Nigeria.
Yes. Thank you very much, and a very good day to you. I actually am here for the inaugural or maiden edition of the business engagements that Nigeria has planned to go into with Nigerian businessmen here, and then subsequently possibly the South African businessmen as well. We want to market Nigeria as an investment destination of choice, and most especially in the light of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, where we're increasing manufacturing, encouraging people to come in, to set up industry, to add value to our commodities so that we can export them to the rest of Africa. And we believe that South Africa, being jointly with Nigeria, being acknowledged with Nigeria as the two top economies in sub-Saharan Africa, we believe that partnership at this level will help us to move that agenda forward. And also our Nigerian businessmen, a lot of them are doing great things in South Africa. They say charity begins at home. So we want them to come back home to do what they are, to perform those feats they're performing in South Africa back home in Nigeria. We have Nigeria government has put in place a lot of interventions to ease business, to encourage investments, and also to improve trade of Nigeria with other countries globally. And therefore we believe that they are in a position to benefit from some of those opportunities. So that's why I'm here.
And looking at some of the challenges, obviously, you do have quite a number of South African entities in Nigeria doing exceptionally well. But how do we tackle some of the challenges?
What challenges are you speaking to?
Well, whether we're looking at the regulatory environment, looking at many other areas as well.
I already spoke to you about the regulatory environment. First and foremost, setting up business in Nigeria. We have what we call the Company and Allied Matters Act of 2020, in which the government has put in place several interventions to facilitate business registrations within Nigeria. And there are a lot of options available depending on which area the investor fits into. And I tell you, in Nigeria, it's possible to register your business within 24 to 48 hours now. Also, on investments, we have a lot of tax incentives. The Investment Promotion Commission works with the ministry, does the policy, and the Investment Promotion is the one who implements some of these interventions. We have a lot of incentives for investors. We have tax holidays. We have what they call capital allowances for people who bring in infrastructure into the country. We give them some kind of rebate, within the country, so that they'll be able to optimize their investments, so that they do not feel discouraged by maybe low profit at the beginning of their businesses. At least because at the beginning of businesses, a lot of capital is invested, and if you don't break even, it may be discouraging. So we do that so that they have a little profit at least from starters, and then they can now build on that. We also have what we call the Nigeria Investment Industrial Revolution Plan, which seeks to encourage industrialization across all sectors of our economy. We have in agriculture, we have in solid minerals, we have in various other places. We within that space, we have what we call the backward integration backward integration program. Under this, we help persons, manufacturers, to increase, to strengthen their industries in Nigeria by reducing import duty on some of those inputs into their industry, while they work towards gathering those inputs from within the country. We are trying to save as much foreign exchange as possible. We also have the free trade zones and special economic zones, where you have tax incentives to encourage people to set up industries in special areas, so that those industries are targeted for export, so that they don't come within the stricter regulations, tax regulations within the country as a whole. But there's a special zone, and some of those taxes, they don't get involved in some of those taxations, so that they can export and bring us foreign exchange.